Okay, then another question is, I think the totality of the all is comprises what I may call the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I reckon that even the ugly things that we find now concretize the is. So when we rail against or criticize what is now at this level, aren't we in a sense fighting against what is real now? Concerning your books, Duane. From reading your books, it can be said that you have ushered in a new realism, which pivots off of the real you. And this premise clashes with traditional materialistic and temporal or mundane theories of realism or naturalism. Now, then, what are some of the cornerstones of this new realism you espouse? And what can you say in defense of, in defense in quotes, defense of this new realism, which seems to make everything pale in significance?
It really bothers a lot of people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you say yes, it bothers a lot of people because again, they again, we've all been brought up in our routines and we like our routines. And I get it. I look at my personal self too. I see how it gets set in routines. I objectively see that, and that's fine. But those are just things that we do. But when the routine becomes your only reality, then that's it. So, you know, again, what is being proposed in the books and whatever, that's a start. That, and again, it's reference. I like that. I came to the recognition. At first, you're thinking, oh, we're bringing something new. It's a teaching. It's it's more so enhancing what has been here. But realistically, it's not that. It's just a rearrangement of things and, you know, providing something that makes sense with what life is. That's all. I'm not, in creation, you create something. And so, but in the sense how people have been taught, they're thinking that, oh, you're trying to recreate life. No, there's no such thing. In creation, we just create and we form and reform things. It's a block of clay and you make something out of it and then you push it back to the big cube it is or whatever, the big block, and then you reform something else. And this is how creation is. And yes, it all goes hand in hand. It's very necessary. And the best part of becoming more aware with this true reality, how it is, and recognizing how it is that then creation becomes the reality that it truly is for. That's the best part, instead of the distortion we're living. And to see it for what it really is and the potential of creation. That is the best part. So I'm not saying, and it would seem as though I would be negating, but you know, again, all I'm saying is that you want to agree with the systems that others have created to create your demise, have fun. Or do you want to step up and start a new position? This is what the boys do. This is what I've done. And, you know, so this is why I didn't do what everyone else did with their spiritual paths and ideas. I looked at it and I go, no, I don't want to do that. It's creating a new position that makes more sense with what creation is. But at the same time, you know, it's like the rainforest as an example. Okay, created the vessel project, but now it's the rainforest because they're destroying purposely all the rainforests in the world and our oxygen because they're pissed off because of what I'm here doing, and others like yourself and whatever, they don't like it. They see it on the real side. So trying to get to implement that in creation, and also dealing with the indoctrinated free will of this world that's more agreeable to demise, you see the challenge. It's huge. So we have a surprise coming. So we'll see how that comes out too. But again, yeah, providing something that makes sense here accordingly and taking people in steps. I saw a long time ago that the books aren't going to do it. They're just something, and it's more of a fantasy. It's more of a, it's its own dream la la land type thing. And we need that too. And this is where Paul started. He started with astral projection and bilocation, then turned it into soul travel, just to get people out of themselves so they could see that they're more than just a physical body. That was the whole idea of Eckankar. That was basically it, for you to see that you're more than the body. But what you determine from there is up to you. And this is where the real side guidance comes in, is like, are you paying attention to see more? But the recognition of that is huge. And so in the meantime, with what we're doing and presenting, etc., and with what I'm doing, which is new, yeah, it bothers people. It bothers people so much. It's like, well, this is just too much. It's more like, you know, hocus pocus or whatever some people have said. Well, and I've seen on the internet too, it's people, Duane Hepner in The Hoax. Okay, this is a hoax. Well, to those people it is, because you really have to learn to want to see it. And it's huge. And it's not that it's hard. And it's like climbing Mount Everest. It's a step at a time, and all of a sudden you're on the top. It's not that it's hard so much, and it is that too, but it's huge. That's a huge climb. And so, and the hardest part is getting back down. The easy part was climbing up. Now getting back down, that's part of it too, isn't it? Or are you going to stay up there and freeze and then just be dust in the wind? Again, to get to this point a step at a time and go through everything that you have to even see a glimpse of this reality. And it's not in the scene in the personal sense, but it's in the scene in the recognition of your real awareness. That's a lot. And so again, it's in the demonstration. Who will step up and take the risk to present something that they don't know, that they will take the risk to do that. So in the meantime, we bother everybody. I wrote a group, it's called We Bother Everybody. Mm-hmm. And so this is how it is. People are going to be bothered, and it's just like when mom woke you up to go to school because you wanted to sleep and you didn't want to get up. Well, she bothered you, right? But it was a wake-up call. You had to get up and you had to go to school. Yeah, so we all bother each other, but it's all okay. It's a friendly bother. And so we're trying to make it fun and adventuresome at the same time, and more so than just the old boring wisdom parables, etc., that sound good, that people become emotionally attached to. I see that too. That's why I don't write all this stuff. I write in a particular way to where it's to free you from these ideas, not to make you more emotionally attached. And this is what I just explained to Lawrence too. Yes, I use these ideas, but the ideas, and then you become emotionally attached to them and forget to continually more so recognize every new moment the isness. That's really what it's all about. But yet you have something there, just like you set up your house. You have something to come back to as you go back and forth with your focus in your personal self and your awareness and whatever, as you're exploring life and deciding your real position. See, that's UP, universal position. You decide that and you work it from there, you might say. So that's a little bit of it. Go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, Duane, just to corroborate what you've been saying about religions, pretty words, ancient wisdom, and all that. Yeah, I had time in the before I met you. I was reading one of a book from one of the persons Paul Twitchell studied with. That was Paramahansa Yogananda. And he had a coterie of masters there who were saying they will spew out a lot of great talk and wisdom, which I now come to see as nothing but the pretty words and ancient wisdom, which has nothing to do with the reality life is now. So after reading a lot and being interested in what they were doing, then I met you and I continued reading, and to my surprise, you know, the account of the death of the translation of one of the masters who was so great there took place, and then the toll was said that he had entered into the highest region of the astral world. Oh, I just threw down the book. I said, what? So after all that has been said, all the encomiums, all the praises, all the greatness, he will just enter but into the astral realm and become the swan of heaven. So I just understood, maybe some people who have not read some other thing would not actually appreciate what you're saying. But I have first-hand experience with it, and I've seen this well talked about masters, how they went into the highest zone of the astral world. Maybe they will stay there for hundreds of or thousands of years. Then they will have to come back to this earth again. So I was just to tell you that and to tell others that what you say about the religions being just astral phenomena is not a joke. It's actually real. So I don't know whether I have any comment on that.
Okay, so he goes to this so-called grand place, which is a place, okay? It's not the isness, but it's a place, because the isness is everything, but there are places in creation. Anytime you go to, you're going somewhere, it's in creation, it's a place, because there are no places in the isness, it's everything, and you see it for what it is. And so he becomes the swan of heaven. That sounds really good, doesn't it? For the moment you're inspired, and it's like, oh, it's like, well, he becomes the swan of heaven. Well, that sounds wonderful. And so, but when you look on the real side, you know, kind of like Marjorie, when she was seen, I said, okay, you girls, you're the witnesses. You know, I can say anything, but, you know, I see her, but you go. I already know she made the deal with Joni many years ago. I said, you go and you be witnesses. You go see this. Well, she's sitting there, and then all these people, like Claudia's experience, all these people, hundreds of them, are probably on their knees and kind of looking up to her like you would at the Queen. It's like, why did you do it? Why? And it's like, see, she didn't tell them. So again, she's the great initiate. So from this side of the curtain, you can say anything. Okay, so maybe she was the swan of heaven too. Well, the reptilians took her away. I don't know if she looked like a swan or what. But the thing is that it's, to me, it's more like, well, he's still at the bus stop. And so, and what does he do there as the swan of heaven? Okay, what is the doing, and what is he providing, you might say, or what is he taking part in? Okay. And again, it's when you look at these things, and it's not a put down, it's not a criticism, because I respect, in other words, I see, and I must respect, and I do, the free will of others. It's like, okay, go have fun, but realistically, what is he relating to? And you see these so-called masters and whatever on the real side, just like Marjorie and others and so many others and Darwin, etc. It's all about them, isn't it? It's about that personal icon self, isn't it? And how many authorities and icons do we need to collect? Like buttons on our chest, you know, like when you're in the Boy Scouts, you collected merit badges. And I was in the Boy Scout. I know what it's like. So that was a big deal at the time when I was in like the 4th or 5th grade or whatever. And then finally it's like, okay, I had enough of this. But, and respectfully, yeah, that's all cute. That's all cute stuff. And we've done it for lifetimes. But the end result is, hey, you're still stuck. And you can think of yourself like Harry does on stage, but he's really bad off. He doesn't see himself. And again, it's the reflection on the personal self, isn't it? So in the scene of the isness, it's learning to put life, you might say, before your personal self. Who will do that? It's usually the personal self comes first. And it's up to the individual when they will recognize that. The boys aren't going to do that for you. You decide when you're going to recognize how to put the whole of life first. And so again, yes, he became the swan of heaven, of course, according to them, but really, he probably went into the astral realm and he's looking around and probably thinking, okay, you know, I went through all this and had all this knowledge or whatever. It's like, okay, where am I at now? Could be so. Yeah, go visit him and see where he is. So again, we create these ceremonies and rituals and ideas, and yes, we've come up through these, and it's fine. It's a reference. Everything we've created in creation is a reference. But you decide if it's going to become your reality or not. So yeah, these things sound good, etc. And again, it's never a put down. It's just simply, okay, is that what you want to relate to? And what does that relate to overall? So now we have the isness and there's more. And that's a toughie. I get it. And many people think the all is a God. Well, God is an authority. But people don't see that many times. They don't understand that. But then again, they think, just like people here, they think they have to be governed by others. They need laws and regulations. We need a constitution. We need to be governed, etc. Well, you know, for the most part, the human consciousness does, because it can do anything, and it usually does itself in. So for the most part, it has to be told what to do until it wakes up to realize that, no, there's more to life, and all you have to do is pay attention. Like the birds in the trees, they don't bother anybody, and they're wonderful. So, you know, why not be like a bird, you know, to start off with, until you do recognize what the sun is demonstrating by shining, and going from there, you go through the steps that make sense, but don't seem to align themselves with what people decide here to be funny with. That becomes the difference. So we've gotten really strange here with what we've decided and created what we agree to as a reality. So now it's time to bring in something that does make sense, but doesn't make sense with what has been created. Well, that's a real challenge, isn't it? So here we are, Charles, and here you are. So this is the adventure we're doing. We're sharing and we're stepping up. And yes, we're bothering everybody. Yes, it's a wake-up time, but this is our adventure right now. We're in it. The world is doing what it's doing. Again, let's see what happens. Let's see what's next. Thank you, Charles, for showing up. We'll see you next time. So rest up so you get here on time. Okay, and thank you.
Can we have a worldwide session so everybody from everywhere can share? Is it possible?
Yes, we can do whatever, and so you will create that, right, or do that, whatever. Yes, you can have whatever you want, so just do it. Set it up, and if you need help, ask Kelsey or Henry, etc. But you can do whatever you like. All of us can, yes.
Well, will you join us, Duane?
Well, sometimes what I like to do is that I personally don't like to, I don't come to a lot of the Skypes because, you know, I'm on these Skypes, they take a lot of time, and I see that, no, others need to speak up, and it's not about me being there. It's about each person needs to have their time. All of you need to have your time. It's for you. You set it up for you, and you do it, whatever, just like Kevin does. And and Val and others that step up, and Tim, and when he talks. I don't come to these things because, again, everybody needs their time, and sometimes that bothers people too. So I don't want to bother people. It's more fun to see people step up and just go do it, and then we come together on certain Skypes like this one, where I am here, but not to be there with everybody because, you know, you have new people coming in, you have other people. They want to express themselves freely, and I can see that many times, you know, they feel awkward because if I'm there or somebody else, it's better that the kids get together and play with themselves. You know, it's just like when kids are playing together, they don't want mom there all the time. You know, it's like, Mom, go away. Yeah, we're playing. Go away, Mom. You know, see, it's like that. So again, it becomes like that parent thing, and I don't see that. We're all free beings of light. Let's just have fun with this, and let's just get real and do something real. So if you have an idea, go for it. You see? So have fun until next time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Charles. It's all for you. Yes, let's have fun doing this adventure. Take a look at what's going on in the world. Right now, we're focusing on the rainforests, and like Kelsey said, universal rainforests. And when she said that, I saw that as Earth, and that would be like a little kid saying the baby talk. Hey, Mom, we're on Earth, aren't we? Yes, we are. We're on Earth, so let's do something. See you soon.
Yeah, thank you, Duane. Thank you very much.